If there was one thing Battlefield 4 was remembered for, it is this. The legendary Levolution on Battlefield 4's Siege of Shanghai was one of the main marketing focuses of the game all the way back in the big 2013. Today, nearly 12 years later, Battlefield 6 finds itself as well focusing heavily on destruction. Today we learned that Battlefield 6 destruction is gonna go the way of Levolution as well, so now we know that Levolution leaks weren't fake all those months ago, as you can level massive giant skyscrapers in Battlefield 6 as well. Check it out. In front of us we have a skyscraper in Battlefield 6 Battle Royale, and it got hit by a tomahawk or some type of an airstrike, which is a calling featured in that game mode. After that, the building fully collapses to the ground and creates debris around that kind of point, and then you can use this debris as cover. Detailed nicely in this article, the leak, which was posted as a short video clip on Reddit, shows the destruction of a skyscraper. It looks like a classic Battlefield style Levolution, and artillery strike brings the entire building to the ground. Levolution describes events that change a map and its gameplay entirely. A classic example, as we know, is the sea flag on Conquest in Siege of Shanghai. Something similar might also be possible with the collapsing buildings in the Battle Royale mode of Battlefield 6. Before the collapse, the building could be a good position for snipers, among other things. After the collapse, the elevated position and sightlines are likely missing. The clip was well received by the Battlefield community. Within only 14 hours, it gathered over 7,400 upvotes. However, many players are wondering if they will see this kind of destruction in the multiplayer aspect of Battlefield 6. I was asking myself the exact same question, because during the Battlefield 6 open beta, if we take, let's say, Empire State Building, you couldn't really destroy any of those huge buildings in the middle. In fact, in many of those, you couldn't even destroy walls. You could shoot some glass windows out, and that was about it. I understand why this was a thing, and I don't think that the full destruction was enabled during the beta, because let's be honest here, they were probably testing as well the performance of the game. They want that this game runs well on all systems, so I understand why it wasn't there. Now that I saw that you can do some pretty crazy stuff in the BR, I really hope that the multiplayer version of the game is not just gonna be left behind to have limited destruction, when the BR is gonna have, you know, destruction which is crazy as this. Now, many people have made an argument on this Reddit post that the reason it's there is because you have these huge call-ins like the airstrike, the tomahawk, and some other things. And I feel like that maybe isn't that big of an excuse to not have such things in the multiplayer aspect of the game. When you consider it received so much likes and upvotes, it's obvious people want to have this in the multiplayer version of the game. I'm only hoping it's not maybe too late to implement such things before launch. How do you feel about destruction on this scale that we saw in these clips, or do you want to have it toned down? Let me know down in the comment section. The other new/old topic is, of course, again the goofy skins. Last week, the Battlefield 6 technical director Christian Bull had an interview with IGN, which unfortunately, because I was ill, I couldn't cover, but I want to give you guys my thoughts on all this goofy skin new/old drama. So the vibe shift on goofy cosmetics in live service games is impossible to ignore at this point. Call of Duty has issued a full reversal on its plans to allow fantastical skins in Black Ops 7 after heavy backlash. And today, Battlefield 6 developers reaffirmed their commitment to not ending up like Fortnite. Yes, this is the famous "for a while" post. Other games can and should be whatever they want to be, right? Like we're not, I don't know. Fortnite is pretty goofy, and that game is pretty good. So I think where we end up is we're pretty happy with where we are. We are a gritty, grounded, realistic shooter. That's what we intend to be, and that's what the game is going to look like for a while. Now, this is the "for a while" meme, which was created from this interview. I'm not sure whether Mr. Christian Bull just had poor choice of word, or is it really just a slip up and this is what they tend to do? Is it just gonna be for a while, this so-called gritty, grounded, realistic shooter, before we are running around again as the famous Ninja Turtles from Black Ops 6? Honestly, I just think it was a poor choice of words here. However, there was something in this article which bothered me, which I'm gonna get to just in a moment. The "for a while" bit does give me pause. It would be unconventional choice for an FPS that plans to sell loads of cosmetics to forever resist crossover opportunities in the name of aesthetics. And I don't exactly trust EA to leave money on the table. who's to say Battlefield Studios' definition of gritty and realistic doesn't change over time? But console combat designer Matthew Nickerson, also interviewed by IGN, made Battlefield Studios' position sound firm. "We aren't chasing trends, we're not chasing other products," he stated firmly. But wait a minute, if you aren't chasing other products, why are we getting a battle royale? If you aren't chasing other products, why do we have open weapon system? If you aren't chasing other products, why do we have gender lock in Battlefield 6? You see what I mean? His so-called firm statement that they're not chasing trends, I feel like was just a flat-out lie, guys. And as an honest channel, I just want to be very transparent with you. I believe that he lied there. They are absolutely chasing trends, for sure. They might not be chasing the most controversial trends, but to say that they're not chasing trends at all is just literally a lie. The only thing we can really hope for is that somewhat we stay realistic. So far, the most egregious thing we saw was the so-called monster skin and maybe one of those other red skins that came before the monster skin leak. Other than that, we didn't see anything. This is kind of out of the ordinary for the so-called gritty, realistic vibe, right? So that's good, because I feel like if they were to sell goofy skins, it'll be now when it's going to be launch day, when they're going to have the most players ever in Battlefield 6. Yes, they can sell them later, but later, you know, yes, of course, I care later that there shouldn't be any goofy cosmetics. I'm just saying if they were to make the most amount of money at one given time, it would be now on launch day. So I think it's a pretty good sign we are not seeing those on launch day. That means maybe that they're hoping that the sales are going to be good enough on launch day where they can justify upkeeping the game and the realistic gritty vibe, as I said firmly, just through battle passes and having more BF3 and BF4 style maybe weapons and camos for those weapons, as well as the uniforms for the soldiers. However, even with Battlefield 6 facing dramas, what it seems to be every second day, I'm still kind of excited for the game because, well, let's face it, there is no better first-person shooter to play than Battlefield 6 in the foreseeable future. The only real competitor I consider to Battlefield 6 would be the new game from Embark Studios, which is basically all dice, which is, of course, the Arc Raiders extraction shooter. Now, I know this doesn't really compete with Battlefield 6 multiplayer, but it will directly compete, in my opinion, with the Battle Royale, and it's still gonna be old dice versus new dice. I haven't personally played Arc Raiders, but I had some very close friends who did play it, who are also Battlefield veteran players, who have told me, Ace, I got this game, it has that polish that we have seen in Battlefield 1, that we have seen in Battlefront 2, is basically the old dice Sweden. So I think it's going to be pretty interesting to see their polish versus the polish of Battlefield 6, which is new dice. Are you planning to play Arc Raiders as well as Battlefield 6? Let me know down in the comment section. I know a lot of people are excited about this game, and I think they're having a playtest very soon as well. With that being said, that's gonna be it from the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching, then help me out in the algorithm by leaving a like and a comment. If you were new here and you enjoyed my video, then leave a subscription. I'll be pumping a ton of Battlefield 6 content when it comes out. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next Battlefield video. Signing out. Bye bye.